Alright guys, so on this new lesson for today, we're going to talk about the area model. And now we're going to use that to help us multiply polynomials. In this case, we're going to use the binomials. Okay, and a binomial is when we have an expression that has two terms. Okay, for example, 2x minus 1, that is a binomial because it has 1 and 2 terms. Okay, another example is 7x plus 5. Again, two terms. We have 8 minus 5y, two terms. So binomials always have two terms in their expression. Okay, and that's what we're gonna be multiplying. Okay, we're gonna multiply those, and we're gonna write an expression that identifies the area as the sum and the area as a product. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over example number one. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to write the what they're giving us here, which is the length and the width of the the rectangle here. Okay, so we're gonna do equation. Here, I'm gonna put x plus 5, so I'm gonna put the plus 5 over here, plus 5, and then that's the length times the width, which is 3x minus 2. So 3x minus 2. I'll move it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's my length and width. I already have it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply. Okay, so we're going to multiply everything and write it down in here. Okay, so in order for me to get this rectangle here, this part of the rectangle, I'm going to multiply 3x and x. Now, if you remember from the properties of exponents, when we're multiplying an x by an x, we have the same base. And I don't have space there. So we're multiplying x times x. We have the same base. And what do we do when we have the same base? Well, the base remains the same, which is x. We're just going to add the exponents. And although we don't see it, there's a 1 in there and there's a 1 in there. So we just add those two. 1 plus 1, that gives me 2. Okay, so x to the second power. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. 3x times x. Well, I'm going to keep the 3 because it's 3. Actually, let me do it with the equation form. 3x to the second power. Okay, now to move on to the next part, I'm going to multiply negative 2 times x. So negative 2 times x, that's going to give me negative 2x. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna write there. Negative 2x. Negative 2x. And now we're gonna move on to the next part, which is multiplying 5 and 3x. and that's going to give me whatever I need to put on this box right here. Okay, so 3 times 5, that gives me 15, and the x carries along, so 15x. Since both of them are positive, then my result is positive as well. And on this last box right here, we're going to multiply 5x times negative 2. So 5x times negative 2, and that gives me negative 10. Okay, so now to express this area as a sum, we're gonna write everything that we have here. But we do need to combine the like terms. And the like terms that I have there is the 2x and the 15x. Okay, negative 2x and 15x. So I'm going to do this. Okay, so I have 3x to the second power and 15x minus 2x, that gives me 13. So plus 13x minus 10. And this is the area as a sum. Now I'm going to move on to the area as the product. And that gives me, for that I just have to type the whatever it's given here. The length times the width, which technically was given to us here. Okay, so x plus 5. Don't forget your parentheses, 3x minus 2. Okay, sometimes we forget to put the parentheses, and those are kind of important because that's what's telling me the multiplication is happening. Okay, having the parentheses around indicates the multiplication. So it is very important for you to include the parentheses around both the length and the width. All right, now let's go to the next problem, example number 2. And for this one, we are going to do the same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna write the length and the width. So the length, which is this, and the width. Okay, so the length, I'm gonna have my 5x. I'm gonna write it right here, 5x, and the minus 2. It's a little bit lower. Let me move it up a little bit. Okay, so there we go. I don't think they moved that much. All right, so the next part, the width, x plus 4. So x plus 4. Okay. Now I have the length and the width of the rectangle for the area model. And all we're going to do now is multiply. Okay, so we're going to multiply again. Each box is going to be, let me use these colors. So x times 5x gives me whatever I need to put on this box. Okay? X times 5x, and again, just like before, I have x. Ooh, that's a bad color. I have x to the first power multiplied by x to the first power, which gives me x to 1 plus 1, since I have the same base, to the second power. So that's what I'm going to put here. Okay, 5x to the second power. Next, I'm going to multiply 4 times 5x, and that's going to give me where I need to write inside this box. Okay, 5 times 4, that gives me 20, and the x carries along with them, so 20x. And since both of them are positive, I'm just going to put plus 20x. Okay, now let me move on to the next part. So negative 2 times x gives me what I need to put on this box, and let me erase all of this because it's getting a little bit confusing with all this color. All right. Now, negative 2 times x gives me what I need to write inside this box. And negative 2 times x, that gives me negative 2x. Finally, negative 2 times 4 gives me what should go inside this box for the area model, and I get negative 8. Okay, so negative 8. Now all I have to do is write that as the area as a sum here. But before I do that, I need to identify if I have any like terms. Okay, and my like terms here are 20x plus 20x and minus 2x. Okay, so plus 20x minus 2x gives me 18x. Okay, so those two combined give me 18x. So that's what I'm going to use here. Okay, so I have 5x to the second power plus 18x minus 8. And that should be my area as a sum. Now for the area as a product, again, it's what's given to me in the problem to begin with. Just parentheses, don't forget that, 5x minus 2, and multiplied by the width, which is x plus 4. Close parentheses. And here we have the area as the product as well.